Can you hear me?
Good, all good.
Gotcha.
Good evening, YouTube world. I'm your host, Paul Italia, and welcome to the Arm Wrestling Buzz episode 45. We got two special guests in the house. We got Bob Brown, my coach. We also got Ryan Bowen in the house, along with the Arm Wrestling Buzz crew, Israel Chavez and Matt
House, we
Conley
got Bob
standing
Brown,
in
my
for Tom
coach.
Stubblebean.
We got
Ryan Bowen in the house, along with the Arm Wrestling Buzz crew, Israel Chavez. I don't know why I'm echoing right now. Hold on, guys. Let me just fix this right now. So, what's up, Bob? How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. I was out on a razor ride in the mountains most of the day, which is why we were having communication problems.
Ah, wow. Yeah, you
So,
whipping around those cliffs, man. What a fun experience. I got to see that a couple of weeks ago. I was shitting my pants, and Bob, I didn't tell you that day, man. I got a thing with heights, bro. So I was holding on for my dear life. I didn't want to tell you that day, but that's why I was asking. Anybody ever fall off the cliff before?
oh, well, considering I took you up to the glitter mine, you probably were crapping your pants pretty good.
Oh yeah, it definitely was, man. So, Bob, I want to hear about how's recovery going, my man. We know that you had that bicep tendon surgery and something going on in the wrist you had fixed as well. So, I want to hear how that's all going for you.
Uh, well, I don't know. Everyone asks me that, and I say the same thing every time. Every week is better than the previous week, but I still feel like crap. Like my arm still hurts. It hurts in the same place it's always hurt. Um, but like I said, every week the pain gets a little less. I get a little stronger. I mean, I think right now, what is my seventh? Yeah, I'm arm curling 17 and a half pounds for 20 or 30 reps, three sets of 20 or 30 reps. That's what I do with my right arm right now.
Well, that's good to hear, man, because I know it was with you a couple weeks ago in Vegas at Brandon Allen's practice, and you were only up to 5 pounds that day. I seen you walking around all day. You had your
Right.
5 pound dumbbell.
Yeah. And this Saturday, or this Friday, I start with like 22 pounds. I just go up 5 pounds every week as long as I can. And then I started a regular gym. All my pushing exercises, I can push as hard as I can push. I'm still pretty weak, but I can at least try to go hard.
What was the
Okay.
injury, Bob? I didn't know you were injured.
I tore my bicep tendon,
Eesh.
my distal bicep tendon, and then I've had a wrist problem I've needed surgery on for probably 15 years and just said I'm never having surgery again. But when the bicep tendon tore, I'm like, okay, well, now I don't have a choice. I have to have surgery. So I might as well get both fixed at the same time.
I'm super curious, Bob. I've never met a man with a shorter range of motion than you. Does that mean has it changed your range of motion now that
No, my range of motion hasn't changed at all. Um, and yeah, of all the guys with short ranges of motion, the worst is probably Pascal Girard. The second
okay?
worst is Crazy George, and then me. I've actually measured mine against Michael Todd's and Devin Loretz, and I'm a little worse. I'm just a little worse than both of them.
But by a little worse, we mean a little better, like realistic.
Well, from an arm wrestling, well, yeah, I guess but what's really Michael Todd, with his surgery, they discovered a big mass on his radial upper part of his arm there, and that they removed it, and it has allowed him to get a lot closer. His arm can come closer to his body now, but not any. But the straightness seems to be the same as far as extending it. But oh
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, if I could get closer to my arm, that yeah, it's going to make a difference with Michael. I guarantee it.
Bob, how many weeks after surgery are you right now?
12, 13, 14. This Friday will be 15. Yeah,
Okay.
this Friday will be 15.
And when
And they
is the doctor?
say,
Sorry.
oh, I was going to say, so I've been rehabbing, following his schedule, and everyone, I've talked to a lot of people that have had this surgery, and it's pretty much uniform to where you're up until about the 5 month mark, you're using not a whole lot of weight. And then from 5 to 6 months, your gains are huge. Like you really start to get strong again. And then, maybe it takes a few months after that to get to your absolute peak strength. But I expect to be back on an arm wrestling table somewhere between 5 and 6 months, at least pulling my lighter guys.
Can you just kind of explain what you're going through as far as recovery process right now? Like how many times a week are you doing physical therapy? How many times a week are you doing your own kind of physical therapy workouts?
Well, I don't go to physical therapy at all. I just do my own physical therapy. But I also, with one, I've been doing this a long time. I know a lot of people that have had the same injury. I've talked to them. Giannis Omlins, of course, is a physical therapist. I've contacted him, and so I know what to do. But I go to the gym every day. I'm in it, well, except for Sundays. I go to the gym every day because it's closed on Sundays, and just I do normal body workouts. But then for my hand and wrist, I just do the normal stuff I've always done, just at a much lighter weight than I'm used to.
Okay. And now one other thing I want to talk about the surgery before we move on to another topic is when you went to your surgeon, I know you were requesting for them to do certain things to it. Can you kind of like explain so when, arm wrestlers go through a bicep tendon surgery, what they can do to, maximize their strength levels when they come back?
Well, I'll tell you what everyone has always said helps, and I did it. Now, whether it helps or not, I don't know yet. Um, and that is when I had my tendon reattached. I don't know if you can see it, but my scar is like right here. Your tendon attaches somewhere in this area. So I asked them to move the tendon this way, but it was like 4 millimeters that they moved. We're talking about a very small distance. Um, and if your tendon and muscle was a steel cable, 100%, it makes a leverage difference, no question about it. But our tendons and muscles, they'll stretch, they'll elongate back to the length they used to be. Plus, my bicep is still shorter. I don't know if you can see that, but this part right in here is, I think, larger than it used to be. I think the peak of my bicep starts closer to my shoulder than it used to. And I asked the doc about that. I'm like, well, why? I mean, when you reattached my tendon, first you had to clean it up. So you had to remove some stuff and then reattach it. So if anything, you would have pulled my bicep further down. He says I was yanking on that as hard as I could and get it into place, but a lot of times biceps don't get pulled all the way down. And I've confirmed that with like 3 other people. All their biceps it's not like a logged up ball, way up here, but it's still a little bit of a ball.
Yeah, and just you know, Bob, and you remember your top student right here had both arms done, man, with the bicep tendon. So
yeah,
I'm very, very familiar with everything. And yes, on both sides, I have now a gap, which that was never. I had beautiful biceps before that, beautiful peaks. Now
I've always had a gap, and I've always had really nice peaks. There's just like that. I mean, my left arm, there's the gap is there, so, but anyway, enough about that.
I'm going to say, Bob, right now, it seems like a real pain in the ass, and I know, it's a bitch to go through, but I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you, man, a year from now, you will look back at this and you are going to be happy you had that surgery, because you are going to be stronger on the table. And I can't wait to hear the great recovery story and all the positive stuff coming out of this. So
Hopefully, appreciate it.
we got a couple of super chats I got to catch up on. We got one from Greg Brown TV for $5, and he says, "Bob, are you confident in your Padawan? My money is on Nanya."
In my Padawan?
I guess that's me being your student.
Oh.
And Greg Brown. Greg Brown's the guy
Yeah,
that
yeah,
threw that
yep.
great event in Arizona with me and Ryan Grondin.
Okay. Well, I'll tell it like I told you. Up until the last practice that me and you had, I would not wager a whole lot of money on either side of this because I think it's relatively close. But up until that last practice, I'd have put my dollar on Nanya. And not because I think Nanya's stronger than you. Flop wrist pressers and shoulder rollers, guys that are just willing to put their arm in harm's way, which is exactly what you're doing when you shoulder roll. I mean, you shoulder roll against the wrong guy, you're going to break your arm. You flop wrist press against the wrong guy, you're going to break your arm, So, but people willing to do that, that's a very strong move. It's tricep and chest and shoulder against lat and bicep. And I don't know about you, but I can bench press a lot more than I can pull. So, it's a hard move to defend against. Now, with that being said, we were trying to get you to learn how to stop it and learn how to hit it and learn how to finish it, if it gets into a grind. And you were kind of picking it up, but you weren't picking it up. And the problem is because we never had a true flop wrist presser for you to go against. Well, at the last practice, we had a true presser. Flop wrist, doesn't matter. And the light bulb went on and you got it 100%. And now I would put my dollar on you. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I that's music to my ears, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I got to say, Bob, I love how blunt you are, brother. You never sugarcoat anything. And I got to say, when we were at the dinner, we were having a couple of drinks. We had the ladies out. And when you turned around and you told me that you would have bet on Nanya a week ago, you just seen my mouth drop. I
Yes.
literally was in shock.
I did. You know what else I saw
What was
at that dinner?
What's that?
That no one else has seen?
What's that?
I saw you with a hat off, with no hat on.
And what did you think, bro? Were you impressed?
I have totally thought you were bald this entire time. I honestly have thought you were bald this entire time. You are not bald. You got a full head of hair. I was totally surprised.
Hell yeah, man. We have another super chat from Greg Brown for $5, and he says, "Bob, Eric says he's a better coach than you, and I beat Paul Italia in a modeling contest on the table." Well, let me give you a little background quick, Bob.
Okay.
A couple days ago, Greg Brown went on his podcast on Facebook, and he just started like laying into me, man, kind of saying that I kind of dipped after our big event together. We were best friends during the event, and then after I kind of just left him in the shadows and all. And I'm like, dude, I'm in another training camp with Nanya. So I kind of went into myself in hibernation. Well, he took it a certain kind of way, man. And he started getting
Greg Brown.
Yeah, this is Greg Brown.
Okay.
And he started getting all spicy and everything. And next thing I know, there's a $2,500 challenge on the table to pull me. So I was just like, whoa.
From Greg Brown?
From Greg Brown, bro. Just came out of left field, man. And he wants, it's some promoter over in Texas, the AWU5 guys. They got an event going down in November, and they're proposing we lock in the match over there. So, Greg, if you're listening, man, I heard the whole rant. I heard you seem like you're insulted in some sort of way. Well, yo, bro, put your money where your mouth is. I'm down. I accept that challenge. You want to do this? We could do this at AWU5. And, yo, bro, I really don't care what weight you're at. You know what I mean? You could go up to 240, whatever. I'll go down to 185, man, and I'll take you for a ride that day. So if you're listening, you really want to do this, let's make this happen, man. I'm about it. Bob, one last thing I want to ask you, because I know
Okay.
you're on a tight schedule today and all. There's a lot of talk going around. We just seen Odin Lorette, I call him Mini Lorette. He just put on an impressive performance against the Whisper. And I kind of was in shock at how easily he made that match look, right through him. I think it was 4-0 at the end of the day. What was your thoughts on that, man? Were you kind of surprised at Odin's level that he went through the Whisper the way he did?
No, no, I wasn't. The Whisperer is a very strong guy, stronger than I actually thought he was. His hook is very strong, but going against Auden, he goes against leverage issues. I mean, he's a shorter guy. He's like I don't know what he weighs, 170 something, 175 ish. He's got a shorter arm with a smaller hand compared to Auden. I think Auden's like 210, 6, 1, 2, so, I don't know, something. He's got a long lever and he knows how to use it, which is the big difference. He was just he was playing daddy and attacking Whisperer's hand and getting it tired before the go and messing with him before the go and getting his hand tired. And he took his hand and beat him. I mean, that really doesn't surprise me. And I have no.
Bob, I wish that he got braver earlier. Like he didn't let Whisper in and play until round 5 when it was a dead rubber. I would have loved to have seen him in round 2, even just be balls and go, I got this kid. I'll just let him play and try to get through. That would have been cool, but he did 4 flash pins effectively and then played.
Right. And I would have loved to have seen him. One of the greatest things about John Brzenk is if John beats you in a top roll the first round and he knows you're a badass hooker, he's going into a hook the second round. I would have loved Auden in the second round, tried to hook him just to see. Because in my opinion, probably after the first round, Auden probably felt pretty confident that this was going to go his way. So then hook him the second round. And if you lose, go back to plan A, whoop him 3 more times and call it a day.
I think Auden would deep down probably regret that, but it probably was nervousness and fear of the occasion, I guess, that it stopped him from doing that. I think that he would probably be kicking himself thinking, why did I do that?
Probably, everyone wants to get the 4-0 before they start messing around, but I guess that's, the difference between most arm wrestlers and John and, so.
Matt, what's your thoughts on the whole match between Odin and the Whisper? Were you surprised at how easy it went?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that, it was his first time on the big stage, and you can almost be like, okay, I want to get that 4-0. I want to get this win so that it's secured, it's in the bag, and then I can talk some trash and act like my dad a little bit for the last couple of rounds. I think maybe in the future, if he's in the same sort of position, he won't have those first-time jitters, and he might be willing to sort of, go into those different positions with different opponents. But I heard that he put on like 15 kilos in 2 months leading up to the match, which is absolutely insane. I said 15 kilos, like what, 35 pounds or something.
15 kilos or pounds?
No, I heard
brother. He put
kilo.
on I think they shook hands. He was around 190, and when he came in, it was 214. So he put on 24 pounds.
Holy moly.
And that's one of the topics I need to bring up, guys, because that's where I have a problem with it. I love Odin. I love how he's doing and, all the noise he's making. Definitely get mad at all the haters, because there are a lot of them talking shit about him, saying that he's acting like his dad and he's acting all cocky and all. I love it, bro. I love the whole character. I love how he came out with the music, dancing, and, it's great, man. It's great to see a new generation coming up, bringing new energy into the sport. Love that part. Now, the thing I don't like, he's doing what Devin did. And I never really realized what Devin did, because Travis would always say this, that Devin, sets all his matches and, he pulls 3-4 times a year and everything's strategically planned out and all. Now I'm seeing what Odin's doing, and I see what Devin's doing. And I don't like it. I don't like when you go and shake somebody's hand for a match, and then you go and put on 20, 30 pounds, and, you're kind of taking a favor into your hands by doing that. And now they're trying to set the stage to do this with me, because he's at 214 already. They know I'm at 198. There's no guessing, bro. Devin's playing like I want to know where Italia's at, bro. You know what I'm at, bro. You've been watching me, man. I'm at 198 maxed out completely. I can't get any heavier. It's not going to help me at all. So he's going, I don't want to put no weight caps on my son during the super matches. To me, that don't make sense, bro. Come on, man. Let's meet at 200 pounds. Odin's that good, man. Let's see it, bro. He's got all the advantages. He's 6'2". He's got the levers. He lives with the greatest arm wrestler on the planet. If he's that good, let's meet at 200 pounds and let's make this happen. I got a bunch of big stage organizations hitting me up that want it. And then there's also another thing that's out on the table that people want to see. And they want to see that I'm at that level. And it's been brought to my attention. Like, yo, we want to see you versus the Whisperer before that. So I got plenty of time right here, man. I got a big match coming up March 23rd. Hey, Whisper, you want this, man. Come May. I'm ready, bro. I got a couple of big organizations that want to make it happen. Let me go prove myself on that stage. Go do what I do. If I get the win that day, dominant fashion, we just set the stage for me and Odin, man, to make this happen. And I'm down, Odin. You want to make this happen? Let's make it happen in September, bro. You're saying, you don't want this to go too long. And I agree, man. You're getting big. You're young. You're growing quick and all. I'm down, man. So if you guys want to make that happen like that, let's talk, bro. I'm not running. I'm not scared. I know they were saying, oh, you're scared after seeing that. What were you saying, Ryan?
Paul, I like that process, Paul, that you've done there. I think you and the Whisperer, I'd be super curious on that. And I think you'd have, assuming you are stronger than the Whisperer, I think it'd be super interesting, and it's a good marketable story, you and Odin. But I like the process of what you're doing there. I think that's solid. And I'm curious as to what your level is too, because I've seen you jump up a lot in the last 6 to 12 months. So because I've watched arm wrestling and seen you cop a lot of flack from the internet and all that sort of stuff, and you're at that. It seems like you're breaking through a level at the moment where all of a sudden you're starting to silence a hell of a lot of people. So I like that.
Oh, I can tell you Paul's pretty strong. There's no question. Now that I've seen him at my practices against guys that I know how strong they are.
Who would you pick in a match between him and the Whisperer?
Between Paul and the Whisperer?
Yeah.
Bob always puts on Paul's opponent.
Yeah,
I already
so
know that.
I want to talk about this match. There are two things about this. This match should not happen and this match cannot happen because the weight gap was almost 40 pounds between Odin and Whisperer, and the weight gap between Paul and Whisperer is also going to be 30 pounds. Whisperer is like 170. So if they did not let it slide against a 19-year-old boy, then they're not going to let it slide against you as well.
You just made a big assumption. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Pradeep, he's 175, and I'll go down to 185 for that day just to keep everybody happy and make it interesting. This way I could go right back up to 200 right after that, bro.
Still, Paul, there will be a gap. He weighed in 171 in shoes.
Bro, 10 pounds. What gap are we talking about, bro? Like, who cares? 10 pounds? Do we really care about that?
Yeah, I think that people will care about that for sure.
Well, the people who care about a 10-pound difference just don't know anything about arm wrestling. 10 pounds is meaningless.
Then Bob, weight classes wouldn't exist because the weight class is around the 10-12 pound mark.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever.
No one's going to care, or for Paul against Whisper, no one's going to care because it's a hype match.
I mean, how many people are going to think that Whisperer can win that match? That's the problem.
Nobody's getting that because I want to see Odin against someone like Abbas Rana, who is a junior, who is the same weight as Odin. I think Odin needs to show us where he's at on the actual level of measuring up against people similar to him. We've got Aussies down here, juniors that are the same thing. Hamza Hodzic, or someone like that. I'd like to see Odin actually, like, it's cool to have these very marketable hype matches. But I also want to just see where he levels up relative to people with the same experience, the same age, the same weight.
Yeah,
That'd be-
Ryan. Another small shout out for Abhas. He competed recently in one of the tournaments in Mumbai, I think it was, and the dude is beating everyone. It's like
Oh, Matt
in one
Conley.
year.
Matt's pulled
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
In
well,
one year,
I had my
in
arm
1
on
year,
the
I'm telling
table
you, it's
while he
like
destroyed it.
in a year from now, it's like Mazahir versus Abhas, and no one would be remaining in just a year from now. And he's
He's-
16.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 15 when I had to go against him, and yeah, he just felt next level. It was insane.
We got a
Yeah.
super chat. I got to catch up on the Metal 365 $5 super chat. He says, "Metal in the house. Let's get the buzz." Thank you, Metal. Appreciate that, brother. Pradeep, what are you saying now, bro?
Yeah, first of all, I was saying I don't want you to take this easy match, Paul. Whisperer is no competition for you. That's why I was saying those things.
Pradeep, see,
You know what?
I
Oh,
got to
man.
disagree with you,
Jeez.
brother, because I don't know how you would know that's not a match, because I honestly don't know how I would do against the Whisperer, bro. He's beating a
well,
lot of he's
Then
beating a
you
lot of
prob-
pros, man. Like a lot
Then
of
you
big
probably
pros in
shouldn't take a match against
California.
Odin, Paul. If you
I know-
don't know how it is going to go
No.
against Whisperer, then you shouldn't take a match against Odin.
Pretty Whisper's strong. Here's how I know Whisper's strong. There's a young guy, Jamie Barrett, in Australia that I train with pretty regularly. He's phenomenal. He has he went over to the USA and he got a pin on Vazgen Soygan. That gives you the perspective of him. He also went 1-1 with a Whisperer in a tournament. So I go, well, Whisperer took a round off Jamie Barrett, who I know how strong he is, and we've seen he top rolled Vazgen, and Odin just toyed with Whisperer, and I looked at that and I thought, shit. So I'm extrapolating that. So Whisperer's strong, dude, because I have so much respect for Jamie Barrett. That's as closely as I can connect to work out how strong Whisperer is. So
And my
Definitely don't-
guess, my guess, if Whisperer went into a hook with Auden, Whisperer would have thrown him across the table.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
if it got to side pressure, if it was still drag and rotate in the hook, I think Odin would have rotated out of it. But if Whisperer could have got past the rotation and made it side pressure, then yeah, I agree.
Oh, I'm talking if they went into a hook and stayed in a hook. If Auden just decided to hook him,
Yeah, okay.
you just get thrown across the table.
These long-armed hookers, though, they say they're hooking and they're really just drag rolling.
Well, yeah, that's
I'd
true.
want to see Paul versus Whisperer. I don't care about weights or anything like that. I just want to see that match.
Israel, what's your thoughts on that, man? Would you like to see that match? And where do you think, since you're my training partner and all, how do you think that goes?
I will say I do think that Hugh versus Whisper is a little bit of a mismatch. I think that you're a little too much for him. I think you are probably around that level where you want to go against Auden for sure.
Okay.
How do you think? Do you think the same thing if Paul and Whisperer decide to just pull in a hook?
I'm having a hard time seeing Whisperer pulling out of Paul's hook.
Okay.
What do you think, Bob?
I don't ever really see Paul hook. In all of our training, he's done some hooking, but not a lot of hooking. So I really don't know.
No, you're right. Paul's definitely predominantly not a hooker, but I don't know. Actually, that's interesting because he does have experience in the hook, and Paul's starting to develop it. So
That's kind of my whole point. I don't give a crap who arm wrestles. There is no match that I don't want to see. If two guys want to arm wrestle, just let them freaking arm wrestle. The people who say, no disrespect to Pradeep, but the people who say that's boring, it's a mismatch, who cares? If two guys want to arm wrestle each other, just let them arm wrestle each other.
Yeah, Pradeep, we're starting to think RVJ's right too, bro. I'm just teasing with you, brother.
Yeah. So is Whisperer ready for this match? Speaking on Bob's point.
We just put it out there. This is the first time I'm putting it out in public, and the reason why this came up, a couple of organizations hit me up asking if I would be interested in that match, and also that's why I'm bringing that up right now.
Yeah, if the Whisperer don't want it, then that's the end of it.
You would watch it though, Pradeep. You would watch it.
Yeah, for sure. I have to watch everything. So
That's
another
your
weird
job.
thing that I noticed about that match was Odin speaking about his weight, and he was acting like as if he doesn't know today he's 190 pounds or 210 pounds. So unless you have some kind of weighing scale phobia, you know that you're weighing either 190 or
Right.
210. That part I didn't understand what he was trying to portray there.
And just so you know, they're always talking about his weight because I was at Vitus L1 with Jody and Devin, and sitting next to Jody, and she sent me a picture, and it was Odin on the scale at 210. So they're constantly talking about him getting bigger and all that. So weight's a very major thing with Mini Lorette over there.
Yeah.
With that, man, Bob, I know you got something you got to do. If you want to
Yeah.
leave now, that's fine, brother. If you want to
All
stay, we're
right.
going to talk about King of Table right now, King of Table 10.
Yeah. No, I gotta go. Appreciate you. Good to see all you guys. Ryan, good to see you. Ain't seen you in a minute. So
Thank you, Bob, for coming on, brother. And guys, get over to
Yep.
Bob's YouTube channel. Go check it out. We got a bunch of training series we did together, me with Pavlo and Sarah Bachman. That is a great place for beginning arm wrestling to learn how to become a better arm wrestler. So definitely check that out. Now let's shift over to King of Table 10, guys. Want to get your guys' thoughts. First off, I want to talk about the price, man. There was a lot of controversy going online about the price. Supposedly, if you went to the website, you got one price. I think it was $19.99. If you went to the app, it was $29.99. And then I was hearing people online saying that they got billed actually $40 or $44 for this event. So what's you guys thought first on the price? What do you think the proper price point is? Ryan, what's your thoughts on that, brother?
Buy an Android phone. That's my thought on that price.
Why do you say Android for it? Did that change the price for us?
Yeah, for sure. Like the price hike was from $20 to $30, and some people were saying it went like 40. I don't understand how it went up to 40, but let's say 30. So that's the price that King of the Table have to increase because Apple Pay takes that much cut. I've heard. So they don't want you to download their app or at least purchase the pay-per-view from there. That's why you never see King of the Table promoting the Core Sports app.
Wow, I didn't know that before. I wish I would have knew that. We're gonna have to let everybody know.
On that,
So they deliberately put the price up on the app just so people
Yeah.
wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. I paid 19 US for it via the website, and like I don't know what current rates are for MMA and other sports and things like that, but I can feel it. I can feel the frustration that people would be experiencing with that. I mean, it's particularly around the world. I mean, in the US, the dollar is what it is, but like if you're in South Africa or something and you're paying that, it's gonna be stinging. And for you can buy eight Big Macs for $20. 8 Big Mac meals for $20 in South Africa. I just learned that just yesterday. So it's like it gives you some perspective of how much things are costing. So like it's getting up there, but I also then realized that the sport's growing and ultimately for 4 or 5 hours worth of pretty high quality entertainment, and it's something that you've been looking forward to for a month. It's fine with me. It's fine. Yeah.
So you're fine with the $19.99. What about at the $29.99 rate? Are you still fine with that?
I mean, I'll always pay it. I'll always watch all of them. So, but I don't know. For me, I'm just looking at it from the business point. Like they're just trying to maximize growth, but at the same time as maximize growth and profits and playing with that sweet spot. If they go too high, they're going to kill growth. They might get a short-term profit, but they'll kill growth. So they're no doubt watching the stats and the trends, and that's probably their biggest decision-making factor. It's not how anyone feels. It's just simply the data.
Matt, what's your thoughts on the price?
Yeah, I heard a lot through our club here in Adelaide about the price, and it was rumored as $50 is what everyone was saying. 19.95 US. I just had a look at it then. For here is $31 Australian. So maybe they were looking at the Apple one, which was $29.99. But yeah, I mean, I guess they're going to experiment a little bit and see what they can, in a way, charge for maximizing their profit. But it is one of those things where, yeah, you go too far in one direction and you're going to turn a lot of people off, especially if people are paying a premium and maybe the event doesn't deliver. Maybe they're going to be like, hey, I'm never going to buy it again, or hey, I want a refund. So you got to be real careful with your price points.
Do you feel this event delivered?
I think it did. I think of
yeah.
what was on the card. I think the matches, if you knew what you were buying, you would be fairly happy with the results. I mean, there was a lot of mismatches in some respects, but I think people would have been happy if they decided to go through with a purchase.
What was the one that
Yeah.
stood out to you? If you had to pick one match for the night, what was it?
Oh, well, it's hard to go against Lockwood Adair because he's,
Yeah.
our guy. So, that was the one that really stood out. I mean, we are big fans of his, obviously, and want him to do the best on the world stage. So I think the last couple of times he's been over there, he's had some close matches, and then to see him be really dominant was fantastic. So yeah, we're hoping that he'll get some more bigger matches on the future cards as well.
Oh my God, that was so amazing to see him cut down in weight at 235. I think he found his sweet spot. Dude looks phenomenal, so fast, so coordinated. Everything just looked right. I am so excited from that. It looks like he got on the next card, and he'll be going against Paul Lynn on King of Table 11. So really, really excited about that match. That's
Yeah.
going to be some fireworks. Israel, what was your thoughts, bro? First off, on the price, and then what was your favorite match of the night?
I think in terms of the price, I think Pradeep, I was going to say something about that. I think for the iPhone users, it was a little more expensive. The convenience of going to the app for a lot of people who are on the go, I think drove them to go with that option as well. Maybe not as many people have the chance to, sit at their computer on a browser to watch it. And so that could be the reason for why a lot of people, ended up paying the higher price. I mean, I got it for $21, out the door. So it was, the 19.99. And yeah, I mean, I could see it's going to go up, slowly, as most things do as the production raises and it gets more popular. But yeah, I mean, they should definitely at least try to point people to the option that they want them to purchase from, more than just leaving it up to, the user if they would rather it go a certain way.
Match of the
And
night.
then match of the night, it's hard to choose. It's got to be between Lachlan's match, Reno's match, and Odin's match.
Okay. Pradeep, match of
Yeah.
the night.
Match of the night, I'll have to say Bacho versus Reno, because that was probably the closest one, and people are saying that Bacho's hype is dead now, and I'm like, how? That was literally the best match of the night, and he gave a best match of the night against a player who's like almost a WAF champion on the right arm as well. On the left, he is actually a WAF champion, senior division. And on the right, I think he has a pin or two over Sandris, even on the right. So his level is already there, like easily top 3 in the world at 110. And Bacho gave him a match while he gained like 7-8 kilos for this match. It was new weight for him, while Reno has been at that weight for almost a year right now. So that has to be a clear match of the night for me. And speaking of the price, I want to say a couple of things about that, because if we compare the price, let's say the next King of the Table card, which I'm quite sure we are going to discuss today as well, that is like levels above this one. So if we compare the same price point, $20 for both of these, then yes, this was overpriced, and which leads me to believe that in the future, maybe these organizations will start leveling out the cards. If they have one good match that they can get for this card, maybe they want to postpone it for the next one because they already have another good match in this card. So that's something that they may have to do in the future, because right now there are tons of matches that we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen Jerry versus Vitali. We haven't seen Morozov versus Alijan, or Morozov versus Ivan Matushenko. So it's possible to get many good matches on a single card. But once we get to see many of these matches and we start moving into the rematch territory, where rematches are a thing, right now rematches aren't really a thing in arm wrestling, because everyone starts complaining immediately that we have tons of matches that we haven't seen for one time. Why are we getting these immediate Devon versus Gennady matches? So people were complaining about that. So until rematches are a thing, I can see them continuing with this fluctuation up and down, because one card is great and the other one is not so great. So it looks like as if they have also accepted the fact that they're not going to sell, or they don't want to sell that many pay-per-views for this one. They're keeping it reserved for the next one to go high. And I've been saying this for more than a year now, that Engin Terzi is keeping in check the prices of King of the Table. So what does that mean? If Engin went up to 25, The next day, we are going to see King of the Table at 25. It has always been the case. So this only leads me to believe that if Engin wasn't there, then King of the Table is probably already $25 or maybe $30. I don't know, because it has always been right there with Engin's price point, and Engin is providing much better matches, much more matches. That's what leads me to believe that they know that if they go higher than Engin, then people are going to complain a lot for sure.
Well, I got to say, we did hear a lot of blowback from the price on this one. And right after that, they went and announced that next card, a King of Table 11. And you could see they were trying to make, an example and be like, yo, guys, we got a stack card on the next one. And let me just read that off real quick for everybody. On the next one, we got Denis Saplankov going against Hermes Gasparini. Artem Morzov versus Ivan Mashenko left. Todd Hutchins versus Argabayev. Michael Todd versus Lars. Ribas versus Georgie. Paul Lynn versus Lachlan Adair. Which one out of those guys are you most excited about? Let's start off with Ryan.
I genuinely
that sticks out to you the most out of all of those.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, the whole card I rated is a 10 out of 10. I really do. There's not much wrong anywhere you look. Every match I'm really excited about. With my biased hat on, it's Lachlan and Paul that I'm most excited about. With my unbiased hat on, it's the left-hand world title match between Morozov and Matyshenko.
Wow. Matt, what's your thoughts? One that
Yeah,
sticks out the
again, I
most.
mean-
And you can't say Lachlan and Paul.
Ah,
we
come
know
on.
you're going to say that.
I love Paul Lynn as well. I think he's an amazing guy, amazing person. He has a fantastic YouTube channel. Everyone should check that out as well. Very technical guy. He's been around forever. Has a really good sort of motto to life and a hard worker. And to see him go up against Lachlan Adair, it's hard to sort of, pick one because I like both guys. So that'll be super exciting. But yeah, it is good to see that these quality cards keep rolling out. And we move on to bigger and better things.
Hell yeah. We got a super chat from Spermies, whatever. I can't read the back part. But California 279. He says, Arm Gods is the best at bang for the buck at $4.99. Thank you for that super chat. And yes, Arm Gods is fire for real. Guys, one more thing I wanted to talk about on King of Table 10 is the little controversy that we've seen with Igor Mazurenko showing up to go inside and seemingly got banned. Did we hear any details on what actually went down? Did he know he was banned beforehand? Did he have tickets? Ryan, did you hear anything about this?
I've heard some stories from both sides of the divide. From one side of the divide, I heard that Igor turned up in a disguise trying to sneak in and got kicked out. And then from the other side of the divide, I heard that he'd already communicated with them prior that he was coming, and they said, yeah, no worries. And then he turned up and then got asked to leave after the fact and was quite disappointed. So the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I saw a little video of Igor and his crew standing outside the event, kind of like organizing a taxi or something once they'd been turned away. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm happy that Igor's back. I think Igor's actually the longest standing professional promoter in the sport. If you go back and look at what he did with the Nemiroff and the Zloty and the top 8, he clearly loves arm wrestling, knows how to put on a show, and I think it's great that he's back. I'm very excited that the Zloty Tour is back in December of this year. That to me, we've been missing tournament arm wrestling, and I think no one does tournaments better than Igor Mazurenko. I think that's just the proof is in his history there. COVID stopped PAL, but now he's back. Obviously, he's come back to a different environment. So there's political tension between WAF and PAL, and there has been since about 2018, I believe. I don't know the depths of it, but I know it's pretty entrenched. So East vs West, King of the Table, they are obviously very heavily Engin affiliated, and Engin is very he's on Team WAF. So there is tension as a result between Igor and now King of the Table. So, and that manifested by him not being allowed in. So it'd be great if we could get rid of politics from the sport and everyone could just arm wrestle, but it's not the way it is.
I just want to know what the disguise was that he was wearing.
Yeah, I know. I'm interested to hear that too, bro. I didn't hear that part of it.
There was no Ryan. You were talking about the video that you saw of Igor standing outside. So did he immediately get rid of the disguise? I don't think that
Don't
was.
ruin our dreams, Pradeep.
So Pradeep, what is going on in the arm wrestling community now? Are we expecting a promoter war about to start? Is that what's going down? And what's going on
People,
April 20th? I hear
Paul,
Igor's doing some in Dubai the same day as in East vs West or something.
I think it was April or May 21, 2021. I uploaded this video. Promoters war, Igor Mazurenko versus Engin Terzi versus WL. It is going to happen. And people were calling me crazy at that time because in 2021, everyone was like friendly. Everyone was everyone's friend. And like I know the promoters got mad at me. I got banned by Engin after that video was posted from his Facebook group. So that's how serious it was at that time. And I was like, it is going to happen. You guys see. And that's exactly what's happening. I predicted it 3 years ago. And I don't see it being any different at East versus West as well if he wasn't allowed. I was thinking about the legalities because King of the Table does sell seats at the venue. I think for $150. That was the price for the previous one if I remember correctly. So if Igor bought the tickets and then they didn't let him in, I think that can be an easy lawsuit if he wants to go that way. That can be like real serious. If somebody buys a ticket and you didn't deny him purchasing that ticket right at that time, even then I don't think you can so easily deny a ticket to someone if you consider yourself as a legit organization. But if he bought those tickets, which I'm hearing he did because somebody who messaged me about that incident, he said that they did buy the tickets, then I don't know what's Igor waiting for.
We got a super chat from Eric Harlan for $5, and he says, "Let people know that according to rumors with the Zloty coming back, that if anyone competes there, they will not be welcome at East vs West event." So yes, the war has begun. Politics is all coming into play, and I think it even goes further than that because I know there's a lot of other organizations that if you arm wrestle with WAF or whatever, and you're not on the same team as Team Engin and WAF, you're not allowed to use any of the refs from other organizations. They pull their athletes out of everything, and there's a lot of control, a lot of power controls going on right now.
There's a little part of me that like I see that the politics of that and it's all whatever. There's a big part of me that's like I kind of like being banned by any side, no matter which side, whether you're banned by this side or that side. I kind of like being banned by a side because it helps motivate me to say I'm going to get so good at arm wrestling that I'd be like if Levan can't be banned because he's just above all bans because he's Levan. You know what I mean? If you get good enough in arm wrestling, there's no such thing as a ban. Like it's just everyone wants you to see you arm wrestle. So I kind of like the bans kind of motivate me in that sense of like it makes me want to train harder just so I can kick down the door of it and say, well, look, I thought you said you were going to ban me, but here I am.
So are you banned from King of Table and East vs West events, Ryan?
It's nothing official. I mean, I'm on the bad list. There's no doubting that. I mean, I'm on the bad list. But
what caused you to be on the bad list of King of the Table? I don't understand that part.
No, I've never been on the bad list of King of the Table. It's just that I'm on the bad list of Engin, and Engin became part of King of the Table. So by association, Engin's worth more to King of the Table than King of the Table.
Nobody talks about Svetan Gashevsky. I feel like I'm the lone person who has been talking about that. If you remember in 2022, there was a tournament, King of the Table tournament, which there were two classes, 85 kilos up and up to 85 kilos. And the super heavyweight was won by Sabin Bedulescu. That's how he got his match against Pavlo at King of the Table. And the 85 kg class was won by Svetan Gashevsky. And until that time, King of the Table had a very clear stance. We don't care about your affiliations. You can be anyone. You can come here and compete. And under those conditions, Svetan Gashevsky qualified for the event. But after that, the WAF organization started having little grips over King of the Table as well because they also started using their athletes, WAF athletes, and then they were like, Svetan is banned from WAF, so Svetan is banned from King of the Table, and King of the Table were like, goodbye. And after Matt Rhodes, months after all of this happened, Matt Rhodes said, like, it's sure, it's certain, Svetan Gashevsky is going to have a match at King of the Table. And I'm like, no, bro, he isn't. You're just plain simple in front of everyone. You're just lying. It isn't going to happen. So little bit honesty on their part was lacking that day. This is what I saw. But it was his private live stream, and I don't think Matt Rhodes represents King of the Table as a whole. So yeah, these were his personal opinions.
I don't think
Where is this going to go now? Because we know we have all these contracts. We have athletes locked in under the core sports contracts. Where is Igor going to get his new talent? You know what I mean? Because before he was the guy that had everybody on the contracts. Now he kind of lost all that. So where is he going to come back, with this top 8 and all? And how's that all going to play out?
I think there is always going to be a very, very deep pool of people who love arm wrestling, and generation after generation, it's going to constantly produce more and more young people. And if Igor is talented enough to put on a really, really impressive show, if you've ever been to one of his shows, the staging is the best for tournaments. The one Zloty tour I went to, it blew my mind in that respect. So he'll put on a good show. There'll be a generation of people that will fill the spots, and the prestige will be alluring for people. And the politics aside, he's going to get a couple of people here and there. Obviously, Engen has a very good rap with King of the Table East vs West on the top crew at the moment, and he's going to keep that for a while, until Igor can build, or until the WAL can build, whatever. But I don't think that he'll have a problem conducting business or anything like that. His track record speaks for itself. He has the ability to get sponsors. He has the ability to network. He has incredible experience with setting up a stage. He'll be fine.
Now I hear Engen's bringing East vs West to the United States this year. What is your thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, it's cool. I think it would help the athletes from the US or North America, making that trip. And Ryan's done this several times, and it's one of those things where you got to travel for multiple days at a time. Your performance does get affected by that, and we saw that when we had AWE2. We had a couple of the guys from the US come over. Artem Charanenko took like 8 weeks to get here. He had so many flights that got cancelled, but it just really does take it out of you. So it may favor the guys on the North American side if the actual promotion takes the event there. And trying to crack that US market is, having people actually go to the event in person would be something really special.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to all this expansion. I think the new wars between the promoters is going to lead actually to great things for arm wrestling. I think it's going to step up, the quality of the productions. I like how you just said, Ryan, that Igor was, like the top production beforehand. He was I wasn't actually in the sport, he was already out, so I haven't got to see some of his productions. I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. And I think it's just going to be an overall good thing for arm wrestling. Say that again, Ryan?
Well, the Zloty tour setup that I went to is in a basketball stadium. So imagine half the court was the stage, and one half of the stadium, the seating was left for people, and the other half of the stadium was lighting, backdrops, digital screens, all that sort of stuff. It was epic. It was like a rock concert.
Yeah, in the times where everyone was complaining about there being no money in arm wrestling, I was watching Ozzy's interview with Igor Mazurenko last year. He was saying PL was profitable back then. In 2017, it was 18, it was profitable. So the man knows business. If he can run a profitable organization in arm wrestling in 2018, he can for sure do it right now. But I think the grip, and I don't mind that grip that King of the Table and East versus West has over arm wrestling, because I genuinely believe, not only in today's world, if we compare the efforts that they have done in last couple of years, they are genuinely the best thing that has happened to arm wrestling. So I wish they continue going that way. But the grip that they have over arm wrestling right now, anyone has to have some serious deep pockets and abilities to burn some cash, and it can be a lot. Only then they might have a chance of cracking into that territory and becoming the third big player. Otherwise, there are just going to be 2 big players. And if some small league tries to rise, building up good matches, because before a league is built up, there will be some players that are built up. And as soon as some big players are built up, they are going to be bought by these two organizations. So that league goes down once again. So unless somebody has deep pockets to burn cash, I don't see any league rising up in the future
What about
to stand
Pro
against.
Panja? They're doing amazing things over there.
Pro Panja is national mostly. Like, we don't have any international matches, so that's a completely different audience. And in India, as you guys may already know by now, that nobody buys pay-per-views. That's just not the way to do stuff. I was talking about the owner of Pro Panja League, and he was like, UFC sells their pay-per-views for like $80 or some crazy price like that, and in India they sell it for like a single dollar, and still don't people don't buy that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, the amount of viewership that you've got there with Panja in India, I mean, 33 million watching the grand final last season for their final was just absolutely insane. I mean, when Ryan and I went there, you know, there was 850 crazy fans, like, you know, pumped, and it was like being treated like a rock star. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, Matt, there was a. Sorry to interrupt you. A couple of weeks ago, Kerala State Championship. So Kerala is like one of the main states in arm wrestling here in India, and 1,500 people showed up in a state championship. And if I talk about the state, Mazahir Saidu is from that state, Rahul Panekar, and there are a couple of guys, Shivji Janardhan, who beat Rahul Panekar. He's from that state, and Steve Thomas. We have seen him a couple of times, I think, in Larry Wheel's videos a few years ago. He beat Shivjit Janardhan recently. He is also from that state. I can tell you guys that these three guys, Rahul Panekar and Shivjit and Steve Thomas, these three are around 70 kilos, and they all three are easily, I'll say, at least top 15 in the world. On a good day, they all can be like top 10 in the world, maybe. That's how serious the level is.
I do think on a promotional level, they're the sleeping giant that the world of arm wrestling fans hasn't really cottoned onto yet outside of India, and they'll become the awoken giant as soon as they put internationals on their Pro Panja season. And they're not doing that this year. But I think they might be doing it next year. And you watch that. When that happens, oh my goodness, try to take on 33 million viewers. Like, try to beat that. That's crazy.
So it seems like what they're doing is concentrating national first, getting, you know, everything popping in India, and then the following year start bringing in international guys, and that's when we'll see the real world growth in India come on to the arm wrestling stage big time.
Yeah, because, man, Indian arm wrestling is a little young still in respect to having a bank of people that are world elite. But you just heard Pradeep say there, he's confident that there's 3 or 4 guys that are now world elite level within their weight category. And I mean, I pulled Mazza here. You saw what happened in that match where he and I were very balanced. And Abbas Rana, there's guys, but in another year's time, they have enough of those guys that they can now invite the world, and it looks like balanced matches. As soon as India can get balanced matches with other elites, they will they will overnight really, really shake up the whole arm wrestling world for promotions.
Yeah. I think that is going to be a big breakthrough whenever some Indian arm wrestlers crack it into the international level, where they are like, yeah, that's the guy to beat. If you leave maybe a few Russian or Kazakh guys, like even now, if Rahul Panekar is like in 65, 70, like, Ryan, do you see anyone beating him in, let's say, USA or Australia? Or Shivjit Janardhan around 70 kilos who can beat Rahul constantly?
What is 70 kilograms? What is the actual weight poundage? Is that 176?
The lightest category, 155, the category around that weight.
Okay.
I think only our very best in Australia. I think Jamie Barrett would have a great match with Rahul. I think Josh Barker would have a great match. But those guys, Jamie's been tested internationally. We've seen, like, he's done well. He's beaten a WAF world champion before. Josh hasn't been over. So I do agree. I do think that the list of people that could beat someone like Rahul or Sivajit in any country is very, very small. I don't know the top 155-pound guy in the USA at the moment, but Paul, do you know that answer?
I'm trying to think right now who would be in that 155. I know
It just
that's like
depends what
guys like,
list you're looking at, really.
yeah, would it be like, would Hunter Knopf be? I think he's up there.
Yeah,
Did he win that
Hunter
round
Knopf.
robin?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
would
so
be a
Hunter
good one.
Knopf is a Killer. North
Yeah.
Carolina killer. That might be a
Yeah.
match, guys. So any of the organizations listening, let's maybe set up this match, get him going against Hunter
Let's see it.
Knopf.
I just pulled it up right here. Oh yeah, well, I mean it's Hunter Knopf's, yeah. Hunter
That's
Knopf's,
the thing, if he
Roman
goes-
Gromov, Cody Wood,
Yeah,
Michael
I
Hayton,
was just
Dylan
about to say
Burns,
Cody's another one that's at the top over there.
Kevin Palco. There's a few guys that could give him some hell out here.
Levi Fit, he got a big match. Levi Fit and Kevin Palco, March 23rd at Winter Blast. That's going down. Let me just catch up on a couple of super chats, guys. We got Trendsetter Arm Wrestling, $5 super chat. He goes, Paul, nice meeting you on 98% podcast. Huge fan of this podcast. Keep it up. This is amazing content. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. And big shout out to 98 podcast, guys. Every Friday night, 8:30 p.m., a bunch of guys just go on. We kind of just hang out. I mean, we go on to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Just kind of a laid back, chill place to hang out. We talk some arm wrestling, we talk everything. So come join us this Friday night. I always pop in. A bunch of the characters come in. Nanya comes in, Captain, Israel shows up, trying to get Pradeep to come on. Matt, Ryan, anytime you want to pop on, you got nothing going on Friday night. I think it's your Saturday morning. Come on and visit. Another super chat, $2 super chat. Eric Harlan, I say screw Engen 100 and support Igor 100. Oh, bold words. You have just got banned from East versus West, brother. Welcome to the club. We got another super chat. Clifton Erikson, $1.99. Jake Houston also. Yes, Jake Houston just had a big showing at this past weekend over at the Montana Armbenders event, which we're actually going to talk about right now. Clifton, come on, brother. Clifton also had a big super match against Jamie Sheldon, and he got the win, guys. Very, very big event. Montana Armbender event. Who got to see it? Anybody get to see that? I know Israel, you've seen it. Ryan, Pradeep, Matt, any of you guys get to see the Montana Armbender?
Yeah, I watched some part of the live stream and Rob's match. Maybe, so I watched it for like 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, so I want to put everybody on about this, man. These guys are doing a great production. I heard that it's I think they got a production team that's involved with UFC. Definitely official. I liked that they had the commercials, they had everything going on, right? Some great matches went on. Definitely get out there and check them out. Montana Armbenders, their YouTube channel. Israel, what were some of the matches that stuck out to you, bro, that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I know that they had a pretty stacked card. There was a big amateur card as well. I didn't get to watch too many of them, but a lot of those guys had a lot of character, I will say. There was a few matches that stood out. Obviously,
one guy that I want to make mention is he was a 155 guy, but I think he went up to 170 that day, and that was Kevin Roy. He goes by Playboy Roy, man. He got an amazing win that day, and what really, stuck out to me was his call out after. I mean, this was like professional wrestling call out, man. This guy must have rehearsed this. It came out so perfect. I was like, holy shit, we got a real character on our hands. So check out Playboy Roy. He called out Cody Wood. So we were just talking about that weight class, Pradeep. That's that 70 kilogram, 154-pound weight class. So Kevin Roy's out of Montana. He's, I think, the top guy for the 155s over there. And now he wants some of that smoke with Cody Wood, which we know Cody Wood is a killer. So that's going to be a great match to see coming up. And then we got our man, Clifton Erikson. What's up, brother? We all know he was on our show a couple of weeks back. We had him on with Jamie Sheldon. And he was very confident, saying he was going to come in and get the win against Jamie Sheldon. I kind of was looking at him. I'm like, bro, do you know what you're doing right now, man? Like, you sure you want this match and all? And he's like, bro, I'm the real deal, man. He ain't playing, bro. So Clifton, tell us about this past weekend, man. Before you get into your match, just kind of give us an overall of the whole, event. And who was the organizer behind that? Because they definitely need to get shout out, man. That was a great event he put together.
Josh Wilson with Montana Armbenders. He was the promoter. He does a very good job. Last year, I got invited to this the super match series, I should say. And it was super good. It was really crazy. You go up there and do a match. There's like a set amount of cash. And the whole arena is surrounded by VIPs. And what they do is they end up just throwing cash at you. and the match goes up. So like, for instance, this last weekend that I went there when we did it, one, they brought an amazing production crew. The production for this tournament, I mean, blew away King of the Table's production. I mean, it was ridiculous. If you guys haven't seen it, look at it. It's ridiculous. They use a lot of guys from who do UFC production and stuff like that, and that's who came in and helped with it. But I mean, there wasn't a match. I think the lowest match was $200, and there was numerous $1,000 matches, $600 matches, and this is just coming out of the VIP's pockets, throwing cash at the table.
And this is going on in between the rounds, guys. So a round goes, somebody gets a pin, and now they start like bargaining. Like they're like, anybody want to throw on top? And then guys are throwing in 200, 300 on. I'm like, this is a great idea. I really like
You guys
this.
ever went to like a greyhound race or a dog?
Yeah.
Exactly. Except
Definitely
for
cool
dog.
concept. Definitely was a fan of that. So I want to hear now about your match, brother. What was your, I know you were very confident sounding and all, but what was like your nerves that day, going against an opponent of Jamie Sheldon's level?
My nerves were pretty high. I didn't know what to think. All I could really do is, I've been in the sport for 14 years. I hung back. I was bringing up my name, and then had kids, got married, stuff kind of slowed down. So I didn't know if I was going to be able to get past my level that I was at before and keep on going. And what my goal was to go against somebody that I knew that if I could get that win, it would set my path on the people that I know that I want now. So going up to that, there was definitely Jamie trying to shake my hand, do little things here and there, which was fine. I didn't care. I'm a pretty mellow guy. I really don't, that stuff don't really bother me that much. And then, last time I was pretty humble. I figured, well, I'd be a little bit less humble. So I'd give him shit, call him old man, stuff like that when we were there. And other than that, then once they said that we were ready to go, I just went to work, I guess.
So it was a 3-0, very, very dominating win, man. So you definitely said a statement that day, bro. Very, very impressive.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I mean, and Jamie's a little bit lighter. When I asked him about this match, Pradeep was talking about weights and stuff like that. When I asked him about this match, I was 230 and Jamie was like 190, 185. He asked to put the weight class to 220, and I said, yeah, that's fine, but I'm going to go as low as I possibly can so I don't get someone bitching to me about the freaking weights.
Yeah.
And so I did. I ended up getting down to about 215, and he came in about 200. So we were about 15 pounds apart, but it was low enough to be able to still hold my strength. So.
Well, according to Pradeep, bro, that's such a mismatch. You're so overweight over him, right, Pradeep?
No. And actually, 2.5 years ago, Jamie Sheldon did beat Artem, and yes, Artem has leveled up a lot since then, but people kind of forget about Jamie's level just because he has been kind of away since this super match era began last few years. So Jamie is legit. Beating him at any weight is awesome in my opinion.
Yes, 100%. I want to hear now, Clifton, what's next, bro? Because you got this big win. I know you're trying to get out there. What do you want next, bro? Because we got a bunch of organizations listening, promoters.
I'm trying to get AJ Henson in a month or two. And then me and John Therian have been talking. So hopefully I can get that match set up. And I want to do that possibly at the next Armbender. Possibly sooner. I'm not sure, but those are my two right now that I want to go for.
Where do you live?
No, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Bismarck, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Where's the best place for people to get a hold of you if they want to get you in a match?
Facebook, look me up. I mean, I'm a Neanderthal looking guy with my wife on there. Just look me up on there and send me anything you want. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. I didn't think that something like this would propel me so far. Like I thought I was going to get some more clout and more talk, but my phone has been off the hook for the last 2-3 days of just everybody wanting to do super matches, everybody wanting to do podcasts. But I think my time came to where it was time for me to actually put the work in again and go far. So I'm not done.
Well, ride the wave, brother. Ride the wave. Definitely looking forward to seeing what's coming up next. I want to talk about the main event match. That was RVJ against Ben Bledsoe. Is that correct? I'm saying his
Ben
last
Brooks.
name correct?
Ben Brooks.
Ben Brooks.
Ben Brooks. Ben Brooks. So RVJ, very, very dominant win that day. Both of them at the same height. They were 6'2", but Ben Brooks was, I think he had 80 pounds on RVJ, which that was pretty impressive for RVJ to still be able to win the way he did.
Amazing
Israel,
RBJ, such a skinny wrist.
Say that
Yo,
again,
Paul.
Ryan,
Paul,
what did you
my
say?
man was hanging for dear life. Somehow got it turned around in the second round. What do you mean a very dominant win? Come on, man.
Whoa, wow. So let me catch everybody up also. There's been a little back and forth going on in this past week between you and RVJ. And I didn't know, when I first seen it, I typed in YouTube, and then next thing there's videos coming up of 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You guys been going at it for a couple of years now. And I didn't know about this, but this last week things have really, really heated up between you guys. Can you catch us up, bro? Like, how did this all start?
I don't remember exactly how it started. He
Yes, you do.
must have started some shit talking about me, and it was 2 years ago, I guess, more than 2 years ago. And somehow, every time, Rob keeps on forgetting what happened the last time when he tried to mess with me online. This time, I've been a little bit more quiet and conservative because, for whatever reason, but he keeps on forgetting. Maybe he needs a regular checkup, a reminder every single time.
What's his beef with you though, bro? Because it seems like he's offended.
My man is, if you watch his channel, bro, first of all, in one video he was saying that, yeah, there are some people who talk negatively about me, and there are some people who are too big to reply to me. That's why they don't reply negatively about me. And he was saying I am also one of those people who is too big to reply to Pradeep. And I was like, bro, you have made so many videos about me. The videos that you make with my name, that got like 7,000 views, which is the most watched video in the last 30-40 of his videos. And whenever he talks about himself, he gets like 1,500 views, and the guy is saying on the arm wrestling table for sure you're too big, but in social media I think the time is past RVJ. The time is past RVJ, and he cannot, just watch his channel. About 10% stuff is what he's doing right now. 40% stuff is how great he used to be, what kind of stuff he has done 2 decades ago, the stories from the past, and 50% content is about constantly bitching and whining about other guys. That's his entire channel in front of you.
How do you see a match between him and Ryan going down?
You just took the words out of my mouth, man. I love it.
Going down. That part. Going down. Like I said, I'm surprised he won the match with such a skinny wrist. I don't know how he did it.
Oh,
I think it's a good match. It's a good match. Despite all of that, I like to see the guy compete on the arm wrestling table. That's cool to see.
I actually really enjoyed meeting Rob and getting to spend some time with Rob at Knuckles Up. And it was that interaction that actually really brought it to the point where we were certain that a match is going to happen between us, and it will. Like in a matter of, I would say, in a matter of weeks, you'll know the date that we're facing. Like we are 100% facing. It's just a matter of sorting out the details of when and where. But yeah, it was a good interaction. Like the dude's a good arm wrestler. The dude wears his heart on his sleeve. He says what he thinks. I mean, I've had plenty of history with run-ins with him as well. The internet polarizes opinions, and when you add to that RVJ's personality and the counterbalance to that, a Pradeep or myself or whatever the argument's about, he's pretty polarizing. But he's a good dude, and he's definitely a good arm wrestler. I mean, he's got a big hand and big bicep, but he's got an exceptionally skinny wrist. So yeah.
I didn't hear Pradeep's prediction for that match.
Yeah, I'll give my prediction. And predictions, yeah, now I remember. Matt, great that you mentioned, and Ryan was also speaking. So the mind clicked how and where it started. Ryan, you remember you were on my channel. I invited you as a guest for a prediction show for the first Arm Wars comeback event, which was in 2020, I guess, in which Sasho and Rob pulled. And Ryan was like, it can be a balanced match, but Sasha is a favorite. And I was letting him speak, and I was like, bro, Rob is going to get destroyed, man. This is the biggest mismatch ever. Rob cannot do anything. So these sort of things I said, and that pissed him off, man. After that, when he lost the match, he came back home and straight away started shitting at Ryan and me for predicting him to lose. Basically, that was it. So if I'm saying, let's say I'm talking about Israel or maybe Clifton, I'm saying that you guys are going to get destroyed in your super match, and the next day you win, and in a dominant fashion, maybe not even in a dominant fashion, you just win, and then you come back on your channel and you say, I'm just saying, and I was predicting you to lose and you win, and then you come on your channel and then you start shit talking about me. I'll be respectful towards that. I was like, bro, I was wrong. You have your moment. I'm all ears. You can say whatever you want. But when somebody says you're going to get destroyed, and you do get destroyed, and then you start talking shit about that person, that part is beyond my levels of understanding.
Clifton, you were there in person, man, seeing RVJ going against Ben Brooks. Were you surprised at all with that outcome?
So I thought right away, I thought it was a mismatch of a match. I thought RVJ was gonna just fly straight through him. But I will give, when you get into that Ben Brooks, and that's everybody. I mean, Jerry Caderet, everybody. When you get into that flop wrist press wedge, it's hard to get the hell around it. So, and that's what kind of happened, is that everything started getting to the point where Ben Brooks would get here, it would jam, and it sat here like this, and it was slowly cranking out. And that's majority of the matches of what they were. So did Ben do better than what I anticipated? Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's Ben's a pretty strong dude. He's very, very on his upward trajectory. But it was closer than what I thought it was going to be.
Matt, hearing this outcome between RVJ and Ben Brooks having 80 pounds on him, being 300 pounds, what do you think is going to be the outcome between Ryan and RVJ?
Well, I was surprised when they caught up in person and they did compare wrists, and Ryan's was significantly bigger. I know RVJ has a massive hand, and yeah, he's definitely got big biceps. He's got the experience in WAL, and he's been around for a long time. He's a very good arm wrestler. I think it would be a fantastic match. I think Ryan has more options. I think he has more strategy, and will probably, I think, just outthink RVJ. And I think RVJ will just work on getting stronger. So yeah, I can see maybe I would say it's close. I mean, RVJ is a very strong guy. If it was 1-4, I think Ryan would take it 4-2.
Before I seen both of them in person at Knuckles Up 2, I would have said RVJ for sure. After seeing the progress I seen from Ryan Bowen at East vs. West 4, then seeing him at Knuckles Up 2, I couldn't believe the difference in person. And the hand, the wrist, it was just so noticeable in person. I was like, holy shit. And seeing where Ryan is now, he's kind of fell back from social media and really focused on becoming that arm wrestler, and that's where all the focus is right now. I think RVJ has got a real problem coming his way. I think Ryan Bowen's going to shock everybody and show where his ninja skills are at.
It's why the match is on, because when Rob and I were in the room together and we gripped up over the breakfast table, it was very evident to both of us that it's a match. Like, there was no one-sided. No one felt, I didn't dominate his hand, he didn't dominate my hand. It felt like a match, and so that just was the tick of the box that we both needed to be like, yeah, well, let's do this thing, let's find out, because the balance is there. It is a match. There's lanes for him, there's lanes for me. But now that I have the data and the awareness that his wrist rise sucks compared to mine, like, you're gonna see Rob slipping me. He's gonna be the one running for the straps. Promise you.
I was gonna say, I think it's gonna end up being a riser versus cupping match for sure.
Yeah, 100%. It's riser versus cupping, and if I can make the match about riser, he'll let go of the cup and slip. If he can handle my riser and make it drag, then then I'll just flash pin him. But it will be a cup versus riser battle, 100%.
Ryan, what was your thoughts with him at Knuckles Up 2 when he beat Brandon Allen? Do you think you would have been able to do the same to Brandon?
Well, I've got a different set of tools to Rob. So I would face Brandon Allen using my riser. And when I touch Brandon Allen's hands off the table, he has pretty stiff riser as well. He's a strong dude in that respect. So it would have been a different match. I probably would have gone to straps with him, and I would have been more top roll climb, press. That's probably how I would have done it. But like I've never got on the side table with Brandon, so I don't know. But yeah, I think like Brandon's a super strong dude. I chatted with him a lot afterwards about just how he could have executed. He didn't trust himself. He got scared, and he was really, really desperate for the slip, and he never trusted. He never gave himself an opportunity to access his full strength because of fear of RVJ's hand. And I was trying to teach him a few things afterwards about when someone's wrist flexion is so good that you actually can't beat it in a hard counter sense, then the best direction to go is into the fire. You don't run from the fire anymore. You go into the fire, and then at least you can be strong too. Because if you can't get outside that fire, then you just get disengaged like he did. So he just has some tactical upgrading that needs to be done, and sometimes and a little bit of courage as well to jump into that fire. And until you've jumped in the few times, you don't realize that there's actually value in there. So I'll jump straight into that RVJ fire. Don't worry.
Can't wait to see that, man. Clifton, I want to thank you for coming on today, brother. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing what you get next. And definitely keep me posted. And whenever you do get another super match, I'd love to have you back on and tell us who it is and all.
Yeah, for sure, guys. And if you guys haven't seen that Armbender tournament, go to Montana Armbender on YouTube. It's on there live. Look at the production. Send me a message on Facebook or Josh Wilson, just telling us what you thought about it, because like anything that's starting up, you definitely want to hear the pros and the cons to make a good trajectory. So, but I appreciate you guys' time, and it was good talking with you all.
Thank you for coming on, Clifton. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, bro.
Later, bye.
So now I'd like to move on over to Gods Falla 3 going down March 23rd over in Ireland. And we have a stacked card on our hands. And what also is exciting is, speak of the devil, RVJ will be there as well, and Ryan Bowen will be there. So they are not pulling each other, but they will be in the same presence again. So that should be interesting, and I hope you guys get some content from that as well. So moving on, I want to hear about some of these great matches we have in store. And the first one I want to bring up is we got Tom Holland going against Craig Tuler. This one excites me. Matt Conley, tell me about what you think. What's going to happen that day? Who walks away with the win?
It's a tough match for sure. This is one of the great things about this card is, as we were saying before we went live, there's literally 19 matches on this card. It's like a 5-day event, but it's taking place in Ireland. We're flying over there. Ryan is taking on Ron Barth. Craig Tuler, I think, is going to be pretty hard to beat in this matchup. I think he's just got all the right tools, and yeah, I think he's going to be the man on the day.
Ryan, what's your thoughts on that match?
Man, it's a blockbuster match. That could be a main event on any given card. It's two studs, absolute studs. Craig too has been around a long time, a lot of achievements. He's got a elbow that is like iron, like he's super rigid. I've only touched his hand on the side table once, but that's all I remember was how rigid the dude felt. And he's real snappy. He's fast. He's a very dangerous arm wrestler. And then Tom Holland. I'm such a Tom Holland fan. To me, Tom Holland's got sort of weirdo strength. Like he's got such long levers, and he looks like a skinny dude. But my goodness, the man is strong. I've practiced pull with him as well, and I've never felt anyone be able to contain my top roll out of straps better than him. he's got such a long arm and a long hand, and he just reaches right over and says, get over in here. A lot of endurance on him. This to me is, I mean, even though he lost to Jason Merlo, I think he put on a great. Technically, he lost. I think in the eyes of a lot of people, he kind of won that battle. I think it's a killer match. I'm just gonna be sitting front row for that. I just want to watch it up close. I don't know who's gonna win. It's gonna be epic.
Yeah,
You got to pick somebody.
too. I met Tom Holland over at Knuckles Up, man, and he gained a fan that day. I know he didn't get the win against Jason Merlo, but just like you said, man, he was just so impressive. True table ninja and very deceiving, man. Just like you said, very tall, very slender. You don't expect the power that this man has, and the lock that he has is just insane. Love watching him. Love this match. Love Craig Tuler, man. The dude is just an absolute beast. We seen what he did at the 198 round robin, going undefeated, bro, making this look easy, 11-0. I didn't think that was even possible. He made it possible. So I don't know where this is gonna go. I know Tom's a table ninja, but I don't know with that Craig Tuler horsepower. It might be a little too much for Tom. I'm just excited to see this match. Radeeb, what's your predictions on this one?
I think Craig should be a slight favorite in my mind because that's also his territory, arm wrestling inside a hook. And the fact that Ryan was talking about how kind of untop rollable Tom is, or how good he is at containing others top roll, basically the same thing. I realized that in the 2018 WL match, Yanis Omolins never fights in a hook. You'll never see him there. He's always top rolling, and the guy forced him to hook, and that was at the same weight cap. So he's really difficult to top roll for anyone. But in this match, Craig doesn't have to top roll in a hook. As Paul, you were saying, I think his explosiveness may be too much. Like Tom likes to catch people here, and it can be a risky move against someone as explosive as Craig.
What I'm scared about for Tom is you try catching Craig Tuler, it's that double hit that
Second
he does.
hit, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's known for, man, and that's what is so scary. And a lot of people aren't used to that.
Don't think that Tom's a catcher only. Like Tom, you go and look at Tom Holland against Coach Ray round 1 arm wars. Flash pins Coach Ray in like a tenth of a second. It's bang done. And you're like, whoa, okay. So Tom's fast. Tom's definitely fast.
But Ryan, if you watch most of Coach Ray's matches, he's like coming back from 1-0. Even in this King of the Table match, he got flash pinned in the first round.
He always gives that first round.
Tom's not a catcher. I'm just saying that Tom's not a catcher. Tom's got a very aggressive hit in his game too. That's why this one is fire for me, because both guys can throw knockout punches as well. So,
Matt, yeah, this is on it.
Hey,
Matt, what's your thoughts on the match? Who do you think is going to get the win between Tom and Craig?
I think Craig's going to do it, mate. I think he's just got all the right tools for this one. Yeah, I think no one else has actually made a prediction, but I'm going to say Craig.
I seen in the chat somebody saying it was Drew24. He was saying that he'd love to see Tom Holland versus Jordan Davis eventually. Has that ever gone down?
A lot of people have talked about it over the years because Jordan is of a similar sort of lanky build, but he is an all-in-all-out top roller. Jordan's level from his last outing has improved a lot. He's actually pretty big now. He at the Australian Nationals last year, he weighed in at 107 kilos, and he went red line with Mario Tembakas. He took Mario's wrist, and Mario held on and ended up flop pressing through, but it was a genuine war. So I think that they would probably be a very interesting match, but only if it's the 107 kilo Jordan. If they were meeting at 90 kilos, it'd be Tom Holland all day.
Okay. Another one I want to bring up is we got Tim Bresnan going against Mindaugas Duskus. I don't even know if I said that right. I probably just butchered up that last name.
Yeah.
But Ryan Bowen, what is your thoughts on that? Who gets the win?
Yeah. I've seen Mindaugas Duskus pull, Lithuanian super heavyweight. And he's a strong dude. Got a really meaty hand. He's actually moves pretty well and pretty quick for a big guy too. I've never touched Tim Bresnan's hand, but I mean he's in one of the OGs, and he's got a very sticky sort of open arm top roll defense in the straps. I feel like it's Tim's match to win or lose, but it's kind of Mindaugas lives in the UK now, and it's sort of his home sort of stomping ground. I think that he's someone who performs well in that arena, so I think he's got a little bit of an advantage there, and it's going to come to if he can win height, I think he can beat Tim, but if he's trying to win through wrist flexion and side pressure, I think Tim will stop him and wear him out.
Yeah, I also think it matters what Tim Bresnan shows up that day. I've seen Tim, come in where he wasn't the best of shape, but then I've seen him also where he's got that crazy lock and just kind of bleeds everybody out. Israel, what's your thoughts on that, man? What do you expect?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely Tim's match to win, Mindaugas, I believe, he's a very strong guy, but I believe he's newer to the arm wrestling scene. And Tim being Tim Bresnan, I mean, he's got boatloads of experience, and the guy's got a really sticky point that I think is going to give Mindaugas a lot of trouble.
I agree with that. And now let's get up to the main event match, man. This is the one we've been all waiting for. Ryan Bowen versus the legend Ron Bath. Holy shit, bro. This is a big one for you, bro. Tell me, man, what's going through your head? Are you feeling confident?
It's crazy to get to be a main event match on a card that's 19 matches deep and has people like Tim Bresnan in it and Craig Tuyer and everyone. I mean, if you look through the whole list, it's an amazing lineup. So I said it when the match was first booked for me that this is a chapter match for me. This is a match where if I win it, I enter a new chapter as an arm wrestler. And that's because Ron has achieved so much. Yes, it's older Ron, but it's still Ron Bath. And arm wrestling is a sport where you don't really you might lose musculature strength as you get old, but your joints and your stiffness is still present and it's still a weapon. And Ron is an amazing opponent to me. Like he had a genuine war with Zurab Tabaridze. Lost 3-2, I think it was, to Zurab, and that's what I think of when I think of Ron's level. And Ron said to me that he's after he lost to Matt Mask, he said the worst thing for me is that he lost to Matt Mask because it lit a fire under him, and he said he's going to turn up in his absolute best form. So to me, very excited about it. We're meeting at 245 pounds. I'm about 8 pounds away from that at the moment, but I'll force that food in the last couple of weeks. And I feel really strong. I feel really confident in my game. And yeah, I genuinely, when I prepare for this match, I think of it, I often go into my thoughts about where the match will go technically. And with Ron, it's like this myriad of options. I'm like, oh my goodness, this match could go so many different places because Ron has all the tools. He's got all the experience. He can do every single style there is in arm wrestling effectively. He can defend. He's got immense endurance. I can really see this match getting dug down in the strap and both of us hitting sticking points, no one being able to pin, and it having to be this game of tiny technical movements and trying to bleed the opponent out. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm excited about the match. I feel really strong right now. I feel very healthy. No niggles, no injuries. I'm itching to get Lachlan Adair back home from Dubai so I can train with him and put that final touches on. But yeah, I'm good to go.
Wow, 245, bro. Like everything I said before, it's coming into my mind. I mean, East versus West 4, bro. 198 pounds, you're coming in there. Now we're 50 pounds up, like within like a year. This is insane, dude.
Yeah,
and is this the biggest match of your life, bro?
You were in the sauna with me. In the sauna with me. You saw how depleted and rubbish I looked. So yeah, it's a big contrast. But man, I feel that moment in Turkey was such a turning point and catalyst for me to make the decision that I'm no longer going to restrict my body weight at all. I'm going to just embrace the heaviest and strongest I can be. I, from that day, started training foundation strength, and all that I mean by that is like powerlifting, bodybuilding routine, where previously I was just focusing on only my right hand and wrist and neglecting everything else in the chain. So I've now added chest and shoulders and back to my week, and it's changed to who I am for sure. And yeah, 245 it'll be a puffy version of me. I will have to really force the food in to get there. Like I said, I'm at sort of 235 to 36 right now. So, but I think Ron's coming down to 245. So it's important to me. I want to feel strong. Because I know he's going to be strong. So yeah, I got to get to that 245.
Is this the biggest match of your lifetime?
Oh, without a doubt. It's like I said, the chapter match. He's a genuine legend of the sport. I feel like I will get respect from the arm wrestling world if I beat Ron after traveling all the way to Ireland. I think that I will get a hell of a lot more respect, and for myself, it'll be an indicator that we're getting to the interesting part of the journey. The interesting part of the journey. I mean, I want to be a world champion, and I'm at that 105 kilo mark, so I can see who that sort of list is. I mean, it's David Dadakan, Todd Hutchins, Kitagali Ongabe. They're the pinnacle of the weight category that I'm looking at. So it's a chapter match where if I beat Ron, I feel like I'm in the conversation for being one of those guys that gets to legitimately climb that ladder of that top 10 guys in that 105. So yeah, it means a lot.
Is that you kicking in the door saying, "Hey guys, you can't ban me"?
That's it. I mean, try banning me when I start kicking down that door and beating people like Ron Barth, and I'm facing RVJ after that. So if I beat Ron and then I beat RVJ, and like that's me. Yeah, try to stop me from getting to the top of that list. Like ban me all you want. It's gonna happen. I'm coming.
Now I just seen your whole game plan come into formation, man. Now I see what you're doing, and it's very smart. I'm really liking it. You're making it where you gotta deal with me, man. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, but I'm gonna show you on the table what I'm about, and I love it, bro. Keep it up. Definitely a fan of that. We got a super chat in. Eric Harlan, $5. He says 4 days sober. Jack with honey tonight, boys. Hey Andrew Yak, screw you 100. Thank you for that super chat, Eric. And then we got another one in from Marcus Thompson for 100 pounds. He says, only a few weeks left, boys. It's going to be a crazy time for the pullers who never experienced an Arm Gods event, especially in Ireland. Party training is as important as the arm wrestling. Who slanta, Paul? Oh, I love it, Marcus, man. I definitely got to get to an Arm Gods event, man. I'm looking forward to that in the future for sure. And you guys all ready to party it up, Matt? You've been getting in partying shape and all.
Yeah, well, that's it. I said to Marcus, I just hope that I actually remember the event because it's going to be on St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, of all places, with 19 matches going on, a tournament. We got Ryan Bowen. It's a main event against Ron Barth. It's just, yeah, it's going to be absolutely insane. I booked like my flight like 5 days after the event so that I've got some recovery time.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And guys, get over to Arm Guides. Make sure to get that pay-per-view. I think they said before it's only $4.99. I mean, 19 super matches.
And the 19 matches are phenomenal. They're really phenomenal. Like we talked about 3 of them. They're honestly so many phenomenal super matches. So
yeah, the thumb tag match, Ryan, I really like that. What are your thoughts about that? I remember watching, I think it was 2008. I was like 13 years old or something. Triple H versus the Great Khali, arm wrestling match, broken glass arm wrestling match, and I knew even as a kid like this is not going to end in a way that we want it to end. But saying that there was no blood, no damage, I was really disappointed, man. And now after so many years, after 15 years, we get to watch that kind of match again.
Well, this time it'll actually happen. Like the Triple H version of it was scripted, where this one's not scripted. This one, someone's getting their hand put into the glass. Like Uncle John and Evan Burgoyne, they're 2 of the biggest characters in arm wrestling world. And when I say characters, I mean that they love the flamboyance of putting on a show. And these guys also hate each other, and these guys also think that they're gonna both just crack the other dude wide open. So one of them's gonna be right, one of them's and gonna get the glory, and one of them's gonna be wrong and have thumbtacks in the back of their hand. Yeah, and like Evan's declaring that he is not just going to just pin him gently. He's gonna put you in a hook, then put my shoulder behind it and throw you into the damn thumbtacks. Like it's gonna be belted into them. It's not. And I've pulled Evan. That's how he arm wrestles. If you lose to Evan, he does. He he whacks you down hard. So yeah, this one, like, if you want that environment, like, that is the match of the card that will probably bring the most heat. Yeah, I imagine, like, genuine.
Yeah.
Have
genuine,
any of
like,
you ever gotten the chance to pull Uncle John?
I've pulled Uncle John on the side table, after an Arm Wars event, and yeah, Uncle John's different. He's different. He's got such a big hand, and he uses it very well. He uses it very well, and his arm doesn't feel as intimidating as his others, but every time you try to go sideways, his hand, you go, oh, hang on a second, that hand is enormous. I'm going to lose my own hand if your own side pressure becomes your own enemy, because you lose your hand when you try to go sideways against Uncle John.
Absolutely,
I was going
yeah.
to ask you, Ryan, when you pulled Uncle John, was he the size he is today?
No, this is the current version now looks way different, and so I'm like, oh man, I don't even know where this is gonna go. It's like Uncle John did spend all that time coming down in weight, getting real lean, then he's like, screw it, and then now he's big and strong and just eating everything, and yeah. So
speaking of this, you guys get a go ahead, Paul. I was just gonna say, if you guys got a chance to see Uncle John's last match this last weekend, he got a big win. Yep.
Jeff Dabe left hand.
So Jeff Dubs is.
Oh. And the way he beat him, I gotta say the way that Uncle John beat him outside the straps, top rolling through his hand is ridiculous.
That don't happen.
I saw John beat Brandon Allen in a super match as well just a few weeks ago, and no worries at all, just rolling through Brandon Allen's wrist, and I'm like, oh man, Uncle John's in form.
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win?
I think Uncle John's gonna win. Evan's a bum.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love both guys, both friends of mine, but we're with Uncle John here. He's part of the Arm Wrestling Buzz crew, and I've been seeing Uncle John, and I can't get over how big he's got. I mean, the dude is really, really massive. He's arm wrestling a lot. He's taking on a lot of matches. I really love that. That was so impressive this past weekend with Jeff Dabe. He top rolled him, which Pradeep was saying, not many guys can top roll Jeff Dabe with that huge hand and all that. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think Evan's going to definitely have some thumbtacks in that back of that hand at the end of that. I wish guys, both of them, great luck, man. I really love that Marcus put this together. I think this is going to put a lot of eyes on the sport. I think it's a great thing. I know a lot of the OGs are kind of like offended by this match, but I like it, man. I think a lot of non-arm wrestlers will be tuning in that day, and I'll definitely be watching for sure. Also got a super chat from the 98% Arm Wrestling for $10. I want to see the Vanilla Gorilla get a match at East vs. West after seeing his training. Oh, and fuck that guy to Eric Harlan. Thank you for that super chat. Who is the Vanilla Gorilla?
That is Ryan Bowen's, yeah.
Oh, they call you the Vanilla Gorilla, huh? That's the new nickname here?
That's his son.
Yeah, no, my son.
Oh, okay. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. I seen you've been getting him on the table and getting him into training and all, like going to the gym with you. Very cool.
2 weeks ago, he got his first gym membership, and I'll tell the story. It was funny when I asked him like what his motivation was when he wanted to get a gym membership. He gave me three, and in reverse order it was, I want to be strong like you, Dad. That was the least important. Another one was, there's a dude at school that I want to be able to beat, that he's always winning the athletics carnivals and all that sort of stuff. I want to beat him. But the number one reason was, he said there was a girl that rejected him a year ago, and he wants to make her realize what she missed. I'm like,
I love it.
How old is he? How old is he, man?
He's 10. He's 10, man. But he's in the gym. He's loving it, and he's on the table with me every week, and he's just hit that age. So I think that I think it's awesome. It is, to be honest, there's nothing. It's the most enjoyable time I've ever had with my son is being in the gym together. Yeah,
that is amazing. Awesome. And you can kind of see what's going on with Odin and Devin, that father-son bond. And, that's a great thing about our sport. There's not too many sports where, a father-son could both participate in a sport and be competitive. And seeing that, it's a great thing, man. And, I see a lot of haters talking shit about Odin and all that. I think it's the best thing, man, for the sport. And to see that a kid looking so much up to his father and that being his true hero, that's real, inspiring, so to say. Definitely really a fan of that. Guys, so I want to move on. This is going to be the last topic before we call it a night, and I just want to make notice of that Locked and Loaded season 1 has just came out, and it's out on the Tubi app. Everybody's downloading that, and that's from Greg Sharp. He's doing great things for the sport, and this season finally got out. I got to see it. Really, really great matches, spotlighting a lot of the local guys in each area and all. And what Greg is saying, if it gets enough viewership, he will then put up $100,000 for the finals this year. So
Wow.
we all want to get behind this, guys. This is major. Greg's not in it for the money. Greg is well off. Greg is really trying to put eyes on this sport, and we really need to get behind this. This is a great thing. I really like the whole setup they did. Did anybody get to see the Locked and Loaded season 1 come out yet?
Not yet.
Did
Not
you
yet.
get to take a look? Yeah, so get over there. It's Locked and Loaded season 1. I know they have it all over Facebook. Get over to Greg Sharp's Facebook profile page. You could go click on it right there. It brings you to the Tubi app. Definitely a great download. Download that. Go enjoy the season 1. Really fun. It kind of reminded me of back in the day, that Wide World of Sports, like with Dave DeVoto and them, and the way the commentary was. I'm a fan of it, man. Really, really cool thing. It was its own original way of going at it. I really like that they're willing to put in big money, and trying to get the viewership out there. So if you can, get over there and help them out, show you subscriptions and all. We got another super chat from Eric Holland for $5. He goes, "Hey, Marcus Thompson, Arm Guys, hear my cry. You want something entertaining and a real rivalry? Me versus Ryan Grinding of the 98, 100. Tell him, Paul." Wow, yeah, that is a good match. I just don't know if Ryan Grinding's opening to have that match, but there's definitely, some drama going back between these two, and definitely don't like each other. So I don't know if that's a possibility if Ryan was down for that, but he's saying, Arm Gods, he would love to have it there. So, guys, I'd like to call it a night now. We've been on for quite a long time. I just want to thank, first off, Ryan Bowen coming on tonight, and I wish you best of luck March 23rd, bro, against your big match against Ryan Bowen. And I got to say, bro, your setup, that studio is so official with all the different camera angles and everything you got going on there. Very cool, bro.
Yeah,
Ryan's ready to produce a movie over there.
having fun being back in the commentary space. I enjoyed commentating for the King of the Table event, and I'll do it for all the major events that are on. And yeah, it was nice to have a break, but it's nice to be back, kind of utilizing the studio and for all it's worth.
I'm glad you're back, brother. Is there anywhere you'd like to shout out? Your YouTube channel, anywhere else that people get a hold of?
And just Arm Gods. Don't miss it. Don't miss Arm Gods. It's in 4 weeks' time, March 23rd. It's I'm like laser focused. I'm heading down towards that. Ron Barth is in my dreams. RVJ's trying to get into the dream, but I keep pushing him out. So your turn's next, RVJ. That's Ron at the moment. So March 23rd. Don't miss it. Arm Gods.
And the other thing I see on your Instagram, I think you're doing some coaching and all. You want to just let people know real quick about your coaching and where they can.
Yeah. I really enjoy the coaching side of things. And when I say coaching, it's not like programmed gym programming. It's arm wrestling. It's watching you arm wrestle, refining your movements. That's what I do well. I that's the style of arm wrestler I am. And so if you want to sign up, you can through Instagram. Then you just get an ability to DM me anytime. Basically, that's the service. DM me, hit me up, ask me questions, send me videos of you arm wrestling, and we go from there. I analyze it, give you what I think, and hopefully speed you up on your progress. Yeah.
I think that's a great service for all the newbie arm wrestlers, to get some direction and kind of just speed up your process. I did it as well when I first came into sport. I was coached with Engin Terzi the first year, also Travis Bajan, and now I'm being coached by Bob Brown, and it's just put me light years ahead of my progress and all.
Spending 3 3 months or 4 months with someone, and like you've done there, Paul, where you've jumped around and you've kind of learned from a whole bunch, it's valuable. I did the same. I've done the same thing. I've tried to soak up. I've spent seasons with different people in the 11 years I've been pulling, and every little bit that you pull from a different style of arm wrestler, it helps for sure.
I can attest to that, man. Paul, I pulled him one weekend, he left. I pulled him the next, and he was like a completely different puller.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Israel. I appreciate that. There's also a couple other things I want to just make mention is, like I said earlier, we got the 98 podcast. It goes on Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Come join us. Great place to hang out and just shoot the shit with other arm wrestlers. Also on Tuesday nights, Pulling John. That's with the captain and Nunya, my next opponent, March 23rd at Winter Blast. They got their own podcast there. They've been kicking off. I think it'll be like their third episode. But Tuesday night, Pulling John, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Definitely tune into that. And then we got a new podcast coming out. I think it is on March 1st or March 2nd. It's the Saturday night. It's called The Lucky Ones. And it is the first female arm wrestling podcast. It will be going at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure to get over there. Check that out. We got Stephanie Spencer and Lucky. They're going to be heading it. I know they got a couple of other ladies that are going to be popping on. So definitely check out that podcast as well. And then also want to make mention, Vitacell. If you guys need that stem cell treatment, hit me up. We got a big deal coming up in March. I could really hook you up with some great savings and all. So hook me up. Hit me up and I'll definitely get you hooked up with that. And also just want to shout out the Vitacell for, they're sponsoring Winter Blast. They threw a $7,500 treatment for a winner over there. So if you go into your classes, you win your class, you will win a lotto ticket. All those winners will be put into a drawing, and the winner of that will win the $7,500 Vitacell stem cell treatment. So make sure to get over to Winter Blast, March 23rd. Get your shot to go win amazing treatment from Vitacell. And also shout out to Vitacell for sponsoring me and Nunya's match. We already know that we got $6,500 on the line that day, but now it just got even better. And now the winner is also going to get Vitacell treatment. So shout out to Vitacell. Really appreciate what you guys are doing for the arm wrestling community. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on tonight. Matt, thank you for filling in for the Arm Wrestling Buzz crew, bro. You're a great fit. Appreciate that, my man. Israel and Pradeep, it's always a pleasure, my man. And Pradeep, stop picking on RVJ, bro. All right? All right, guys. Have a great night. Let's see that flex off before we go. Yeah, that's it, man. There you go. Hell yeah. I didn't even realize my camera shut off, but yeah, here we go.
I gotta get this one.
Oh shit! Hell yeah! Looking beefy, bro. 245 on its way, my man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great night, guys.